What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back to yet another episode of Thrash Reviews, where yours truly, Thrash Maniac 99, continues to review upcoming hard rock and heavy metal albums in the calendar year of 2016, and we are down to our second to last album I have on my list, and this is a big one that came out at the beginning of September that I really missed out on, considering I reviewed his last couple albums 2 years ago. The newest release from Devin Townsend / the Devin Townsend Project, called Transcendence. For those who don't know who Devin Townsend is a Canadian musician who particularly revolves himself around prog rock, heavy metal, and extreme metal in particular. Those are the main genres he performs within. And he's been in so many bands. He did vocals for Steve Vai's solo band. He was a member of the extreme industrial metal band Strapping Young Lad. Of course, he's had his solo bands like the Devin Townsend Project, as well as the Devin Townsend Band, and Dev Lab, and so many other bands. And he's done a lot of production for bands such as Darkest Hour, Bleeding Through, and so many others I can't think of off the top of my head. But yeah, this is his 7th album in the Devin Townsend Project name, but the 17th overall in Devin Townsend's solo career. So let's hear what this had in store for us this time. It kicks off with one of the shorter songs of the album at under 5 minutes, called Truth. And it was more or less like a symphonic metal opener with some vocals at the end, but then it just really goes bombastic with the song Storm Bending. Hiccups and burps, what can I tell you? Storm Bending, which is pretty much a symphonic prog metal track that Devin and the other vocalists, including Aniske, something like that. Aniske from formerly of The Gathering, doing the female vocals on the album, and like her and Devin just meshed together so well. I remembered on the Ziltoid albums, or the Ziltoid Dark Matter Sky Blue, I believe it was. I forgot what it was called, but I reviewed it a couple years ago. At the time, it was before my Baby Metal review. That was my most viewed review on my channel, and I thank you for that, but I couldn't really get why. I guess there was that much of an appeal for Devin Townsend that they were willing to go everywhere, but hey, I'm grateful for it. And on particularly the Dark Matters side of the Ziltoid album, when it was Aniske, Devin and Chris Jericho doing like the singing and the voices and with other people, it was pretty cool. When I heard Aniske and Devin sing along together, magic, beautiful magic, and it just continues with this record in particular. But then we get to perhaps my favorite song of the album, and the longest of the album at nearly 10 minutes, which is the middle track, Higher, and it's epic, bombastic, atmospheric. What else can you say? And Devin's voice is so soothing, yet he does have his moments of gruffness. Like, for instance, in Strapping Young Lad, he did more of the unclean vocals. He kind of does that on a rare basis with this track and other tracks on the album, but wow. Listen to the song for yourself and you'll get what I mean when I mean it is epic. Absolutely epic. It's almost like as if you have climbed up Mount Everest and you're celebrating at the top because you're going higher, which is awesome. And then we get to the closer of the album, From the Heart, at 8.5 minutes. Another beautiful track in the second half. The first half was very heavy. Very, very heavy. And then you get to that second half where it's more prog rock oriented, with the orchestra going on and the acoustic guitars and the keyboards and all that good stuff. And it was just a hell of a way to close out what was another phenomenon from the great Devin Townsend. I tell you, top to bottom, not a bad song on this release. Similar to them Ziltoid album, the Ziltoid double album thing from a couple of years ago, Z2. Devin's showing that he's showing no signs of slowing down, and he is showing that he's still able to create very interesting, unconventional music, and people love it. 91 out of 100 for Transcendence. This is, if you ask me, this is better than the Ziltoid or the Z2 album from a couple years ago. So, anyways, we got one album to go. Epica's The Holographic Principle. Boy, that's going to be another symphonic fest. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Peace out, and have a good night.